Hey everybody! Sorry, it's music time. I'm not sure if you can hear that back there. Maybe yes, maybe no. The baby's here. It's Hagen baby. What the? Oh, cause my freaking Logitech's plugged in, man. Well, you know what? Put me on the old save file for a second. Will the game still play with the Logitech plugged in? Yes. Okay, no problem. Sorry, I was playing a driver's ed simulator yesterday. I didn't want to unplug the wheel in case I wanted to go back to it today. Because that's what my content is in 2021. The gaming industry, and I don't blame the games industry. There's your seed right there, by the way. You know, due to factors outside of their control, work from home has probably, you know, really led to a bit of a gulf, you know, in games. A little bit of, I would call it a desert for a certain type of game, for sure. I was laughing because, like, there's a streamer, and I don't follow them on Twitter. I don't have anything against them, but, you know, like, I don't know. You just, if you follow every streamer on Twitter, your whole live feed on Twitter is just going to be full of people saying, you know, going live. Frog. Oh, no, wait, I thought that was, it's the Hippo song. I'm dead, dude! I love this song, man. Okay, start me up again. I don't mind playing Judas. But yeah, there's a, dude, Frog. She keeps interrupting the Frog song. Play the whole thing. Yeah, baby. Baby. You might just think this is a man who's lost his mind. Oh! If you can't hear the music in the background, then my mic is working way better than I ever thought it would possibly work. Help me! What is wrong with me, dude? I'm broken. I can't play Isaac today. But anyway, I saw a streamer who I don't follow, and then my point on following streamers was just, you know, eventually if you follow enough of them, your Twitter feed is literally just gonna be like endless, hey, going live, guys, tweets. Are you hearing this? This is amazing, man. I mean, it's a little annoying. I'm not gonna, you know, just misrepresent the point. However, is also kind of sick because it does beat baby grunting, and it means she's entertained. And honestly, the ability of the baby to press a button is kind of sick. Like, you don't realize when you don't have memories of when you were young, or this young at least, but like the ability to understand that when you press a button, it is connected to an event that happens right after that. That's like a pretty serious, you know, cognitive leap. I'm impressed. Baby. The baby, she hates Isaac, man. I don't know what it is. What did Isaac ever do to you? What's the problem? Hello. Hello, baby. Hello. Hello. I've been able to make the baby laugh a little bit. I don't know. We'll see if we get the chance a little bit later on today's episode. I think we should explore a little bit more. But it's a very complicated recipe where I pick her up and then I look away and then I look back very quickly and go and then she goes ah, ha, 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 ha. You know, it doesn't seem like we're gonna get too much productive Isaac done here, so maybe we'll give that a try real quick. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we have the baby. The baby is in hand. And then we go like this. We look away. Little laugh, little laugh. Let's try again. Okay, you ready? Look away. You don't even understand. That's kind of a laugh. It's just I think it's the kind of laugh you make when you have a full diaper. So I'll be back in like just a minute here. Thank God OBS has a pause button, man. All right, we are back. little bit of a messy episode so far, but that's okay. Anyway, we're floor 1? How does that happen? Anyway, the point I was trying to make. There's a streamer I'm aware of on the platform, but I don't follow. But his tweet popped up in my timeline and was like, this is the worst drought we've had for games in a long time. And I was surprised how many... Well, I guess I'm not surprised because I've been on the internet for a while, but people were roasting him in the comments. Like, they'd really be like, oh, no disrespect, but you're just looking for the wrong games. And then they would link him to, like, you know, 3 indie games that they've played in their entire life. And be like, you're just looking at under the wrong rocks, buddy. Have you ever heard of Spiritfarer, Hollow Knight, and FTL? I'm like, dude, the most recent of those games came out like a year ago. Some of those are from 2013, man. That's crazy. 2012, I think, actually. Despite not being, you know, like a AAA streamer, if anything, like, it's funny. I'm like, you know, when they hooked up my Twitch channel, they reversed the polarity. Like, if I play a game that, you know, is like a brand new AAA action-adventure game, people are like, I already watched Admiral Baru and Co-Carnage beat this game, you know, in the 22 hours immediately following its release. When I play, like, some kind of busted, like, half-physics-driven laundromat simulator, people are like, oh yeah, it's all coming together. And, I might add, I wouldn't have it any other way. Keys, please. I thought I had keys on the last one. I'm all shook up on this one so far. But I actually agreed with the poster in question. It actually, to me, is kind of like a big, drought in games, and it makes perfect sense, don't get me wrong. But it's also, hey, sweetie, I'm begging you. I'm just begging you. It's just a brief moment of a gruntless existence. PhD, now we're talking. Yes, sir. 48-hour energy. Yes, sir. Let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese. Salt, pepper, ketchup, mayo on a roll. Yes, sir. You already know the vibes. Alright. Can't forget the bev. Let me get that airy. You know what I'm saying. Yes, sir. Sorry. sorry. Just can't get that TikTok out of my head, man. But I was thinking, because normally, like, I remember last year, I was like, oh, you know, One Step from Eden is amazing, and Stone Shard's amazing. Maybe One Step from Eden was a little later. That was like May or something like that. But either way, I had some games early on in the year that I was like, you know, really impressed with. Even on the indie side, that's what gets me, is I play, like, you know, so many indie games. Whenever people are like, oh, you're just not looking at indie games, I'm like, nah, he's right, man. You know, there's been some stuff that has been a lot of fun this year. No doubt about it, and Loop Hero, of course, is, like, probably the most noteworthy. And then there's been some stuff that I haven't played, but I heard is amazing, like Dyson Sphere Project, but, you know, as popular as that game is, it is also niche, you know? That's not the kind of thing that has universal, you know, ubiquitous appeal. If you love Factorio and stuff like that, it's gonna be very much up your alley, though. But I do feel like it's been kind of a... This is a bit of a bummer, by the way. I feel like it's been kind of a slow year so far for games, especially when you consider that we're, Man, this is a wild one, huh? Especially when you consider that we're almost a quarter of the way through the year right now. So I find myself interested in stuff that otherwise probably would never have caught my fancy. Right, baby? Like, I'm like, oh man, Outriders comes out in 2 weeks. I don't even know what Outriders is. Because there's no... I think it's kind of like a Destiny sort of thing. But because there's no other tentpole releases at the present moment, I find myself being like, oh baby, I'm not gonna no-life Outriders, but I'll at least give it a try. But I can't really complain. There's, you know, if you gave me the choice between like one AAA game coming out every week, or what we have right now, which is like 50 weird games coming out every day on Steam, I'll take the weirdo games, you know, 10 times out of 10. That's how we find, like, you know, driving simulators and King of Retail and Alt F4. Well, Alt F4 I found because Kate recommended it, but... Baby, what seems to be the problem? I know, baby, we took you out for, like, pardon me, so many amazing walks. And I got so excited to get some real vitamin D. Then I look at the weather forecast. It's gonna rain for the next 6 days in a row. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to... You know, the misfortune of being born in Vancouver. One of the most livable cities in the world, but also it rains a lot. You'll never... I'm just making a joke, really. It's nice here. The winters are always mild. Wait, no, that's not. It's from the Cable Guy. Hey, hey. Baby. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do for you. You know what? I got one idea though. Let me tell you. This is what a run, man. What a run. Here's an idea for you. The dunk-a-dunk-go frog likes to hop, hop, hop. He jumps in the water. Splish, splash. Lots of great baby parodies. I think I've already done this one, but when I give her a bath to the tune of the Halo theme, I go, baby shampoo, baby shampoo. I'm dead, man. Not dead. Baby shampoo, baby shampoo, baby shampoo, baby shampoo. Baby shampoo, baby shampoo, baby shampoo, baby shampoo, baby shampoo. And you know, you might say, how do you keep sane? I'll tell you. Again, I can't stress enough. Love the baby. Love the baby. However, sometimes the grunting, it interrupts your thoughts. I've never read The Giver, but I've read, I think, a short story that spawned The Giver or was contained within The Giver. Where basically, like, you know, they have to interrupt your thoughts constantly so that nobody ever feels bad that they don't have the same thinking capacity as somebody else or whatever. That's kind of how I feel with the grunts from time to time, baby. I'm in the middle, sometimes an Isaac bit, and I don't expect you to understand at only 5 months old. Many of my viewers are triple that age and still don't fully comprehend it. However... an Isaac bit. Sometimes the foundation is laid in the first few minutes, or even several episodes ago, and it just keeps getting built upon, interwoven with other jokes, and then callbacks come in later. Like, it's the kind of thing, it requires, let's be honest, a visible hand, okay? It requires active maintenance, pruning, preparation, analysis, and recall. And you dare hiccup in the middle of my spiel? She's smiling. She's like, I made him mad. She's like, baited. You got baited. Hold on. Flooded Caves 1. We gotta take a chance on this, man. Okay, that's, I mean, we needed some kind of stat here. No doubt about that. Baited. The baby's like, don't you know, Dad, you should only respond to the kind of criticism you actually want to respond to, otherwise the trolls win. Okay, this is... I don't mind getting a cube of meat. I got nothing against a cube of meat. Okay, I'm gonna die. I will say, personal opinion, cube... No! You! Let me out! There was such a narrow area of safety, dude! You gotta be kidding. Oh no! Okay, see you in a moment. Alright, we are back. Father of the Year, just, you know, from having a boss fight in The Binding of Isaac. I believe, my daughter thought I was getting mauled to death by some kind of saber-toothed tiger. And she was justifiably, in the baby's mind, at least a little bit perturbed by that. But we have calmed her down, and you know, that's there's 3 times I have made the baby cry and felt genuine guilt afterwards, for sure. One of them, I was eating dessert on a plate while I was standing up, and I literally just dropped the plate and shattered it. It was like 10 feet away from her, but it was the most, you know, I mean, the most traumatic experience she had in her life, except for probably, like, the delivery. And she was inconsolable for like half an hour. And then one time I was doing a sponsor stream and Kate brought the baby in, and I was like, whoa, you know, I got hit by like an enemy or something. And then the baby was very upset. And then this was kind of like a repeat of that. Gotta remember, you know, you try to keep it... It's tough because, you know, that when the baby grunts, you're like, I'm gonna talk a little bit louder so that I can hear myself. And then when Pestilence almost kills you, you go, whoa! And then she's like, what? She doesn't understand, I don't think the baby has a concept of fiction yet. Like, every book that I read to her is, like, something that she must believe happened on planet Earth. You know? Like, Poppy's Colorful World. She's like, there's really a panda out there that's, like, putting on her rain boots and, like, a backpack and going to play in the playground. There's real pandas out there. They're not eating, you know, bananas for breakfast, though. You know, well, I don't know. I mean, I know pandas eat bamboo. I don't know if they just eat bamboo, though. Maybe it's one of those things you can mix in, like a little extra something, something. I don't know. Thank you. I feel like we finally have the slightest bit of momentum on this run. Now, this is the first run in a while, like in months maybe, where I really feel like I've played genuinely terribly, but let's try to recover regardless. Okay, at least one statistical upgrade. That's what you want to see. Sworn Protector is fine, and I mean, one I can see forever is okay. I mean, we might as well just take the other one, because we'll use it on the next floor. I'm drowsy. We're unlikely to ever use for good. But yeah, I you know, I think it's... And sometimes indie game streamers, they get like, I don't know, I think... Anytime you can misrepresent something to make yourself look like, oh, you're cooler or whatever, I think there's a temptation and a bias there that needs to be looked into. Or examined, whether, you know, they're doing it intentionally or not. But people are like, oh, there's a drought in games? That's okay. I play indie games. And then they always are like, you know, maybe you've heard of this one, and it's, you know, Stardew Valley. I'm like, yeah, Stardew Valley came out in 2015. One sick indie game 7 years ago doesn't... I mean, I would say there's kind of like a gulf of indie games right now. There's, in my opinion at least, there's a lot of... I would call them double I, and not in a negative way, because that kind of stuff is my bread and butter. There's a lot of, like, you know, mid-budget, mid-pedigree sort of games. The prevalence of spacebar items on this one is blowing me away, man. You know, and there's a lot of almost, like, games that straddle the line between meme and reality. I think King of Retail is an example, but then there's all the... You know, every week on Steam, there's a company that releases like 19 games that are just called Blank Simulator. No joke. And I think they just take like the same scaffolding and then just change a few assets, you know, and basically all of a sudden, you know, you used to have Drug Dealer Simulator, now you've got Robber Simulator, now you've got, you know, Cartel Simulator, now you've got Border Guard Simulator, now you've got, you know, DEA Agent Simulator. Like, you know, they're using that as a platform to get a lot of games spun up real quick. So it's not like there's a low volume. There's actually an unbelievably high volume of games out there. I didn't kill the final enemy, and I'm Ron Burgundy. But I do think that in terms of, like, marquee, indie, and AAA releases, absolutely, you could be forgiven for thinking there's a drought right now. I kind of feel the same way, which is honestly why I've been... It has been working out, I can't complain, but that's why I've been deep diving into Steam for, like, 45 minutes every night trying to find some weirdo stuff. And I'm happy with the results, don't get me wrong, but, I can definitely understand when people are like, oh, I need, you know, the... let me put it this way. I think there's a temptation for people who play indie games to be like, you know, hey, you know, just because there's no... I understand there's no Assassin's Creed game that came out this week, but have you heard of, you know, Hades? Again, this is not against Hades. It's an amazing game, but I do think that in 2021... And I would say it's justifiable, but my opinion of 2021 so far, little light on the games. What are you gonna do? You know, in terms of if the knock-on effects from, you know, a global crisis actually, like, extremely on the minor end of things versus, you know, some of the more realized effects. But I just say, I mean, it's funny because I'm a big believer in work from home, but I definitely think the more collaborative, and this is mostly coming from a place of complete ignorance, as somebody who has only held like a few real jobs, and most of them at the entry level to begin with, whether in an office capacity or otherwise. But I think the more collaborative your work is, the more of an impact or adjustment period there will be to figuring out how to hit that same level of efficiency on work from home, you know? But what do I know at the end of the day? Maybe it's, you know, it's a little kink in the garden hose and they'll get it all figured out before too long. Horf, by the way. I'm kind of like, this run is not horrible, but it's surprisingly not good. if I may be so blunt. Like, we're 15 minutes in, it's Catacombs 2. Stats are okay, Guardian Angel is nice. Consumables we've been starved for the whole time. Basically what I'm saying is give me Magic Mush, or I'm gonna rage like a little wah-wah baby. Nope, okay. PhD has essentially given us some secret rooms and a range upgrade. That's not enough to really keep the blood pumping. I really wanted to purchase Humbling Bundle. Maybe this is our last chance, okay? I went for it, man. I was using our golden bombs, and you know what? We got it. I'll take that. I'll be very happy to do so. Suppose we could have Yera'd something at some point as well, but that's too logical. But yeah, and to be honest, like, I can't even think of what's even coming out in 2021, which is, I don't want to say disheartening, because, you know, there is stuff to play. There's nothing stopping you from going back and playing older games. But that being said, like, you know, kind of hoping for, like, something to use the new consoles for. It's funny, like, a couple of times a week I look, like, at the PlayStation 5 store. What am I looking for on the Sony store? I'm looking for, you know, new AAA indie games. I'm looking for, you know, the stuff that is gonna emphasize the hardware, you know, the unique capabilities of the controller or whatever. I also go to the Nintendo Switch store. What am I looking for? Not joking. Yo, hold on. 4 tears ups. What am I looking for? This is overkill, I think. You know what? Actually, it was the perfect amount. I thought we were gonna get to the cap. This is pretty sick. And we'll just hold 48-hour energy. I'm looking for game show games exclusively. Namely, Price is Right. You know, like, I think that we should embrace the fact that recently a Wheel of Fortune game came out for Nintendo Switch. A very not good Jeopardy game, and I say that with love. I'm happy it came out, but the Jeopardy that they released for Nintendo Switch was not their best work. And it's substantially better than Jeopardy Play Show for the Windows Store, which is the one where you have to use your microphone to answer the questions, but the speech-to-text algorithm is just truly horrendous. Like, I would describe that as non-functional. And this is, you know, I think I paid $60 for it or $40 for it on the Windows Store. That's how into the idea I was, but it just doesn't work. Maybe they've been working on it, but at release it was pretty much pure garbage. Garbage. And I love that we were getting those, but for the love of God, you know, I know Ubisoft, Ludia, I know you've got those, the assets from the Wii version of The Price is Right and The Price is Right 2010. Not too different between those, because they use the original assets for the 2010 version as well. Just release it. That's, I mean, like, why, if it's a rights issue, whatever. Otherwise, what's stopping you? Every other game show game released has essentially just been a reskin of the decade-old last version you made. What's stopping you from doing it with The Price is Right? Because The Price is Right is freaking sick, man. Because there's so much community participation. People in chat can yell out, like, You know, oh, that's not 265, that's 317, you dummy. And then on top of that, you get to play games where you guess things, but you also get to play games where there's like a little bit of, you know, and I do mean a little bit, but like manual dexterity. You know, like hole in 1 or 2. And then cliffhanger, where you get the yoddy 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 hoo. Plinko. Plinko is not really, it's more of like a game of chance, obviously, but still. This run's starting to come together, man. So basically, I'm a man of contradictions. I want some bold indie games. I want some AAA games. And I want some jank game show games, please. If I could only choose one, I hate to say this, it's a betrayal. I think I would choose the game show games. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to say. I am as God made me, sir. Now, this guy, he really does just keep rolling around at the speed of sound, but now he's dead. Little luck and range upgrade. I can't remember if I've seen... We've seen our item room on this floor. Our item room gave us Continuum. We have not seen our shop, and we have so much money that we would be remiss if we avoided it. Yeah, this seems apt. Anyway, long story short, in this case, I side with the streamers. Again, I think there's a real temptation if you play indie games to be like, oh, well, oh, I'm sorry, a new Call of Duty hasn't come out in 8 seconds? I wouldn't know. I play indie games. But I think even from an indie game standpoint, there's been an effect. Now, I could be wrong. At the end of the day, I'm you know, just one man in a, you know, a large industry, and I'm just one man in a large industry, asking you to like, comment, and subscribe. Is that Romeo and Juliet? I can't remember. No. I think it might be 10 Things I Hate About You, which is actually quite Shakespearean because it is based on Twelfth Night. I can't remember. Taming of the Shrew. It's one of those that's constantly like it's screwed up for me because I watched 10 Things I Hate About You before I watched, or before I interfaced with any Shakespeare, I think, so. This is, you want to talk about a very, like, uniquely me story? In 6th or 7th grade, I can't remember, I was yes, I know, you're like, how'd you keep the girls from just, you know, beating down your door all the time? Wait, you were a semi-competitive chess player and a good amateur bowler? It's true. I was both simultaneously. And we, me and my bowling partner from our local league were traveling to the humble Greater Toronto area in Oshawa to play in a bowling tournament, which we did not do very well in, but just to be invited, it was one of those things. It's like just to be nominated, you're happy. And we stayed overnight at my aunt's place, because she lived in the area. So we drove up from my hometown to Oshawa. We slept at my aunt's place, and we watched a couple of movies while we were there. The first movie we watched is Aliens, which up to that point was the scariest movie by far I had ever seen in my entire life. Genuinely gave me nightmares. I mean, there's some stuff in Aliens that, like, admittedly, I think I was 12. So I probably was a little bit more susceptible at that age to like movie gore than the average 12-year-old, for sure. Like I was a bit of a baby, and I believed in the idea that, you know, like it could, if you saw someone getting like shot in the face in a movie, it could irreparably like traumatize you. I've since gotten over that, and you know, now I'm like sick, dude. But I was a little bit of a baby, for sure. So, you know, Paul Reiser gets his freaking face eaten by a xenomorph, and of course the chests are just bursting nonstop, and, you know, they find that soldier encased in alien goo, and she's like, kill me. You know, it's like, there's some disturbing stuff in that movie for a little kid. And then, as a palate cleanser, we watched 10 Things I Hate About You, which I think, made me, like, that's my model for what high school looks like to this day. Even though when I was in high school, it was nothing like that. Alright, this is our shop, man. We might as well take a credit card. First off, I'll gladly pay 7 cents to get rid of that curse, and I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today, I will. You know what, if we want some of this stuff, why not? Might as well take PokeGo. You never know how long this is gonna last here, right? So you might as well send it when you got the opportunity to do so. Why not, you know? And another credit card. Don't mind if I already have done this. And another credit card, so you absolutely should credit card the credit card. We don't want that at all, but that's fine. Okay, and then, hold on. Starter deck is fantastic. It's all coming together. Trinket Smelter. Use it to smelt your trinket. Now we got 2 brand new spaces. We don't need another charge on it right away, I would say. What's this? The Gaz? We'll just pop the Gaz. I guess we will take another charge on it. I was incorrect. And I don't want to keep Trinket Smelter. Book of Belial is a little bit more useful for us, I think. Ace of Hearts we don't care for, but certainly Tarot Cloth we do. Into a 2 of Hearts, we're just going to clear off the board. Should have bought the Spirit Heart there, but this is still... That was a shop that, you know, we can be very pleased with. Hello, Tomo. Hello, Tomo. Welcome. Okay. So it's not the fastest Isaac run of all time, and we do have 2 losses in the video so far, but we took this one where it needed to go, and it was kind of, like, not good. There were a lot of periods where this run was also still very vulnerable. Like, I've told this story many times. It's one of my favorite, like, pseudo-embarrassing stories from being a kid. Hey, Tomo, don't get out of the freaking wires. You don't go into the wires, okay? Yeah, you just jump up into the box, man. There you go. But at like, my friend's birthday party... Oh, that's a long walk, brother. This was maybe when he was turning 12 or 13. He was like, let's go to the video store and rent a movie. We went to the video store. And he's like, what if we rented Scream 2? And I was like, I don't know, guys. It's rated R. What would our parents think? And then everyone was like, oh, you're such a baby. Fine. And then we rented Home Alone 3. Which I really think is emblematic of what it's like to be at that weird age where it's like the border between, like, starting to get into, like, at least aspiring adulthood, but also, like, you're still a little kid. It's like the only 2 movies I want to see here are... I want to see someone get, you know, stabbed in the chest over and over, or I could settle for Home Alone 3, I guess, as well. But I think, like, it's kind of like an only child thing, I think, to some extent. Like, I never had, like, an older sibling, that I could, you know, like... And I don't mean this in a negative way. Like, I don't have sibling FOMO. I think there's positives and negatives to being an only child, for sure. But I never had, like, an older sibling who, you know, maybe they were a teenager when I was you know, an adolescent, and they'd be like, hey, check it out, we're gonna watch, like, an R-rated movie. Like, I never got that. Instead, I was just like, okay, watch an R-rated movie? Surely the rules are there for a reason, guys. And now I'm like, ah, whatever. Now when people are like, when adults are like, I don't like to watch movies that are, like, gory. I'm like you cover your eyes during the gore? You know that's just, like, corn syrup, right? But I guess I get it. I mean, there's things I don't like to see on, like, on screen, for sure. Like, animal abuse. And that's not a rare one at all, but, like, you know, even just hearing of, like, you know, people abusing animals and stuff like that, I'm like, no thank you. That's why I will not watch that, the true crime documentary, Don't F With Cats. Everybody's like, don't, you should watch it, it's good. And I'm like, I know what it's about. It was major news in Canada, and maybe worldwide, to be honest, but definitely no, not gonna watch. I'll just say, you know, I mean, I get that it's supposed to be unpleasant, but it's like, it's deeply unpleasant. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. like, you know, gross stuff, I guess. 10 Things I Hate About You, not that gross. And you know what? Aliens has become one of my favorite movies ever. It's a great movie. And I thank my aunt and my cousin for introducing it to me at such a formative age. Although I was very frightened with it at the time. Dude, you know what I think when the period in which I was growing up was like, I was never scared of the quote-unquote boogeyman. I was freaking petrified of an alien invasion. We lived in like well, if you're like around my age, there was like an alien cultural freaking boom that happened at that age, you know, or at that time period. Independence Day came out, scared the crap out of me. No peace. Watching it now, it's like the cheesiest movie ever made. As a, you know, an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old, no peace. I was like, dude, these guys are freaking jerks, man. Thank God Jeff Goldblum, you know, knows that it's a Unix system. And can save us. You know what? We will be losing Book of Belial here in order to take White Pony. I'll be very happy with that. And then, after that, Men in Black. Men in Black is a comedy, but it's got some scary elements. It kind of scared me a little bit as a kid. That's not how you're supposed to handle that one, obviously. And then after that, Starship Troopers, man. Starship Troopers scared the crap out of me. I remember my dad rented it on VHS. It's funny, it was my bowling partner was there watching it with me as well. It's probably the only 12-year-old kid who was like, hey, bowling partner, you want to come over and watch a videotape? But we both were, you know, we're like 9 or, I don't know, 11, somewhere in there. We were getting traumatized watching these freaking mosquito aliens swoop down, chopping people's heads off with their wings. Like, it's crazy, man. No wonder I was freaking freaked out by aliens. Also, I have an uncle who is like Mathis. And I don't mean this in a negative way. He's a nice guy. But he was like, you know, I wouldn't call him a conspiracy theorist necessarily, but he was kind of like a budding UFOologist or ufologist, however you say it. And, you know, so as a kid, I'd be like, oh, I'm a little scared of aliens. And he'd be like, you should be, they exist. You know, here's some photos from like a sketchy Angel Fire website. And I was like, okay. You're an adult, so you know what's going on. So yeah, and I was paranoid that the aliens were gonna come down and, you know. But also kind of fascinated. Paranoid, but also fascinated with the idea that aliens could, you know, make contact with Earth. And they'd be like, I need to speak to your, you know, 3 millionth smartest 9-year-old. And I'd be like, oh no, that might be me. Okay, help me. Anyway. I never got being afraid of the boogeyman. Like, I was never worried of, like, some r/no sleep, like something in my closet or whatever. I think it's just whatever the scariest thing is from the time that like, 5-year period where you get really, really, really scared by fiction quite easily. That's what's gonna end up being, like, your boogeyman, right? Wouldn't you agree with that? I think so. Like, for me, like, I never got freaked out by the horror movies from, like, the 2000s, you know? Never really, like, wormed their way inside of my brain. I know there were people that were like, dude, after I saw The Grudge, I couldn't sleep. Like, really? You guys so scared by a movie starring Sarah Michelle Gellar you couldn't fall asleep? Talk about, like, the worst trade in the history. I mean, I couldn't fall asleep for a little bit after watching Cruel Intentions. Unless I was gonna make a joke that was kind of gross. You can fill in the blanks yourself, but... Okay, I was gonna say, unless I slept on my back. They say, you know, one of the most annoying habits people have is laughing at their own jokes. Okay, fine, be annoyed, you know? See if I care. That's off the top of the dome piece, that's pretty funny. Did you see, okay, so Pete Weber is a famous bowler. I know we're talking a lot about bowling here. Pete Weber is a famous bowler who retired from the PBA Tour, which is like, you know, the NBA for bowling. He's old, you know, he's in like his 70s, I think. Pete Weber is most famous for, you know, that is right, I did it, number 5, are you kidding me? Who do you think you are? I am! One of the best sports pop-offs in history. Strike to claim it. Strike to claim it. And he got it! Well, he retired, and he was giving an interview before his final frame. And, you know, he's emotional, and why wouldn't you be, right? You spent 40 years, like, of your life, you know, dedicated to this, even if people might think it's a little silly, because it's, you know, bowling is kind of like a recreational sport that a lot of people, you know, obviously don't take super seriously or whatever. You know, this is this guy's life, and this is kind of like the culmination of maybe his childhood dream, plus all the efforts that he put in as an adult, you know? It's crazy. Of course you're gonna get emotional. But he's also kind of like the bad boy of bowling, so he was like, I got nothing but appreciation from my fans. Love me, hate me, you watched. That's all you could do. Thanks a lot, guys. And then he walks up to the ball catcher, grabs his ball with tears rolling down his face, and just frickin' aces like the cleanest strike you'll ever see in your life. It's so good. Now, admittedly, in the final frame, he could have struck out. He could have gotten 3 strikes in a row, and that would have made the moment slightly better. Instead, I think he leaves an easy spare, and then he ends up picking up the spare to end his career in the PBA. So it's slightly less cinematic than it could have been, but it's such a good moment. Love me, hate me, you watched. That's all you could do. Thanks a lot, guys. Ka-tunk! That's the sound of all the pins just immediately exploding. It's an all-time great sports moment. That's on par with like Mario Lemieux coming back out of retirement and getting 5 points in his first game, as far as I'm concerned. Or the Philadelphia Flyers losing 9-0 to the New York Rangers, even though the New York Rangers didn't even have their head coach because of COVID protocols. Lots of great sports moments in the past couple of weeks. Not that many amazing games, but lots of great sports moments. I love it, man. The bravado, because you know that's so risky. He's like, love me or hate me, you watched. That's all you could ever do. If he went up there and like gutterballed it, oh man, that would have been egg on his face. But instead, love me, hate me, you watched, and then he hit a strike. Da 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 da. It's so good. By the way, this run still like kind of not great. I'm really happy we doubled our DPS with our tiers upgrade like Yera played, but like this run is not particularly strong. This would be a very nice opportunity for us to pick up like you know, some kind of damage upgrade, and you've disappointed me. You have disappointed me to a large degree here. But that's okay. That's what's been living rent-free in my mind lately. That and, you know, we talked about this before, but you know Collective Souls Shine? Every let your light shine. Dude, that's a hey, that one. I occasionally my brain just ambiently makes up mashups. And I hate it because they get stuck up there forever, and then when they manifest, they're not actually as good as they sound in my head. But now I've got the final track off of Tenacious D's first major album, Malibu Nights, stuck in my head, but to the tune of Collective Souls Shine. Malibu nights, the tangerine dreams, Malibu summer. So I mean, just think about it. Do you think it would work? It might not be as good as Personal Toxic Jesus, but I can't get it out of my head. Sometimes the things that get stuck in your head are not rational to begin with. That's all I got. Like, I didn't come into this with a lot of banter potential, like, stored up. And then, you know, we had a couple of deaths, and then the baby, you know, was a little unhappy, and You know, I got no anecdotes anyway, not leaving the house. Hey, actually, there is some, I mean, it's not really an anecdote, but it's like the prelude to an anecdote. That was just, I don't even want to talk about that. Our vaccine timeline keeps moving up over here. Again, whenever I say, like, you might be like, hey, NL, I already got vaccinated, to which I reply, F you. I don't mean F you, like, I'm stoked for you. I just have, like, vaccine FOMO, right? Originally, you know, otherwise healthy people in their 30s were not going to get vaccinated till September. Looks like we might actually get the jab in June. And that's, you know, I'm not going to say that we can extrapolate that it'll be even sooner than that, because that's, you know, things happen. But it seems like there's an accelerating vaccine timeline as well. So obviously I hope it happens like even faster, but June is definitely a damage upgrade. Oh my god. June is definitely better than September. And I think if you had asked me, you know, like last year when I thought I would be vaccinated, if someone was like over under June 2021, I would be like, I'll take the under and I'll bet my entire net worth on it. So you gotta keep it in perspective. You know, I'm optimistic about it. Congrats to everybody who's already gotten theirs. I'm a little jealous, yes, but it is what it is. You know, we'll gotta keep it in perspective for sure. That like, it's kind of like extreme DB behavior to be like, I hate that you got vaccinated so early, right? Like, I'm not gonna be that guy. I'll hold those thoughts privately to myself. I'm outwardly and to some extent inwardly happy that you know, it's getting out there so fast. Would it be easier for me to be happier if somehow I had found myself undeservedly at the front of the line? Yeah. Please note that I said undeservedly. There's really no objective case where somebody that, you know, works from home normally and doesn't really leave the house that much to begin with and is relatively young and, you know, in good condition, at least on an internal medicine standpoint, you know, should be at the top of the list. But if I were making the list, I probably would have put myself a little higher up. Because I'm the one with the pen, you know? But I'm happy for you nonetheless. I'm eagerly awaiting my... Dude, I'll show up there. I'll buy general admission. I'll buy standby tickets. I don't care. Get me in there. I'm telling you, if you just release the recipe, I'll make my own batch at home. How hard could it be, right? It's probably just... I have literally no idea how you make a vaccine to begin with. The eggs are involved, or occasionally shellfish, because I think they use, like, the protein from shellfish, they use that as one of the building blocks of the vaccine. So, okay, you know what? I'll go to TNT Supermarket, I'll buy some abalone, and then just tell me what I need after that, okay? How hard could it be? I've made some complicated stuff in my day, okay? I'm a little bit of a wizard in the kitchen. I'm watching a lot of Kitchen Nightmares lately. Just release the recipe. Now I'm picturing a world where, like, Pfizer releases the recipe for the vaccine, but it's on their website, and it starts with, like, the prelude. My husband Anton and I were vacationing in, you know, blah, blah. When all of a sudden we thought we felt something coming on. That's when we said, you know what would really hit the spot right now? A vaccine. That's how we came up with our fabled... Anyway, you get the idea. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Northernlion, where we play games and stuff. See you.